Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Summerfield Farm and Draft Horses. I am Danielle Summerfield and I'm the owner of Summerfield Farms and Draft Horses. And that is Jarvis, this is Mr. Darcy, and behind Jarvis is those little legs there, that is Ann Marie. And this is another episode of overcoming your fears and after a fall, or if you're just afraid of horses or whatnot. And this is probably episode 6, but we had some technical difficulties with episode 5, so you probably didn't get to see it. It's not up there. You couldn't hear anything. The microphone wasn't working and the camera wasn't working. So, but we are going to redo kind of what we did on episode 5, and it's not just for you guys, but it's also for her, because it was a very difficult episode. It was she had a lot of anxiety. And this time is going to be a little different. So Miss Legs over here is almost done brushing him. She's going to brush him on that side, brush him on this side, do all of our things that we usually do to get ourselves relaxed and ready for a lesson. We've already done some walking, so the two of them are connected together. And yeah, so let's get this set up and get on with our lesson. Okay, you guys, so we are having technical difficulties with our microphone and the transmitter. For some reason it doesn't want to pick it up through the microphone, it wants to pick it up through a headset. So I've got to do some fiddle farting around and figure out what's going on with that. So I will probably end up dubbing some of this over, so if I have to, I apologize. But we have the saddle pad on Jarvis right now, and we're going to just do some balancing. And I want her to feel what it feels like to be out of balance, how he reacts to her being out of balance. It's basically the same thing that I did with my cousin Nicole. I'll put in a couple little videos of her in here because she was here over the past weekend and we did the same thing as far as feeling her out of balance and so forth.
But she's doing it, right? She's doing it.
And what's the purpose
slow.
of having her go for balance?
Balance.
Yeah, balance and feeling the movement of the horse.
I notice Danielle keeps stopping him in mid-stride,
Yeah.
so that you can feel when the legs are going to move.
Because Nicole's leg muscles will start to learn the muscle of the horse.
So, okay, now we're gonna get Ann Marie up there and we're gonna work on that. Okay, you guys, so since Ann Marie has never gotten on a horse using a bareback pad before, I'm actually going to show her how to do this properly. So you want to grab it either in the front or in the back, and you never want to just grab a hold of it and pull it towards you as you go to get up, because this will just slide off and it'll be on the horse's side. To properly get on, you want to put equal pressure on the front and the back of a saddle or a saddle pad. That way, as you go to get up into the saddle or the saddle pad, if it has stirrups, you are putting even pressure on the front, and you are lifting up with your body and not throwing the horse off balance by just dragging him sideways. So I'm instructing her to put her hands at the front and the back and use her upper body strength to move herself over and lower herself onto the horse. I can tell she's a little nervous, so I go ahead and I show her how to do it. It really helps to have a high mounting block so you can get up on your horse. But don't forget to lower yourself very carefully and don't just plop into the saddle, because that's just rude to your horse and it hurts their back. What I'd like you to realize, hey, wait a minute, you're off. I mean, you hold this, you hold this, you hold this. This is easier for me to put my hands just like right here. I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna fall. But I want you to feel how he compensates for your movement, and this will help you know what it feels like to be off balance. And then when you sit center, he's gonna adjust, and because you can see, I can feel his little balance where he moves a little bit, he moves a little bit, and now I'm center. And then you move in, and of course you're not holding on with your legs, you're not putting any pressure with your legs, you're just sitting. And then you can feel him move back and forth. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, feel it right here in his back end. And I felt it up in his shoulder. And now I'm center. And now he's okay. And that's all I want you to do for this moment. The reason why I did it was I wanted her to feel what it felt like to be way out of control of what normal balance is like. Because now you're backwards, but you're a little bit farther back, and he's walking differently because you're seated differently, and it's just weird for him. And then when I had her turn back around, she was like, oh yeah, this is way easier to sit and walk forward and be in balance because she was thrown so off balance. And all she had to do back. She stacked just like this. So now you're feeling different muscles in the butt, because now you feel this, and your shoulders are off, and you're going the wrong way. So it's very uncomfortable, and you get to see what's going on with his butt. And then when you turn around, he feels better, because now you're in balance, now you're balanced, and then you're going to feel better, and you will be much better at balancing yourself straight. And then that way you can see what's going on. Okay. Good boy. Sit. Relax. Moment. We're going to do a little bit of breathing. Lay right there. One leg over first. But not going to jump. Perfect. Love it. That was good. Okay. Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to put both hands here and you can relax. Okay? And I want to inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 and then let it out for 4. So we're gonna go. Wasn't not do it again. Ready? So now that everybody is all calm and relaxed, she's asking if she can lean over like she used to, because that was her go-to when she thought she was anxious. So I want to try to break that habit, and I explained to her that moving in that way is actually backwards. So we need to take a step in the forward direction. She's not too happy about that, so we go ahead and divert her attention over to something different, and I noticed she was slouching. So I explained how her balance is affected by the way she carries herself in the saddle. And I use the analogy of a sack of potatoes, because nobody wants to be a sack of potatoes because they're heavy, they're clumsy, and they're just cumbersome. So we don't want to be heavy and cumbersome on the back of the horse. We want to be able to move with them and move freely, and that way they can carry us a little bit easier. So I show her how her shoulder, her hip, and if she had stirrups, her ankles would be all in one line. And the way she was sitting before was extremely heavy in the seat. It was a lot of pressure on Jarvis's back. So the way she holds herself up and her shoulders back, she actually tilts her pelvis a little bit and allows herself to become actually a little lighter for Jarvis. Go. Right. So I got Ann Marie up there and we did a little bit of breathing techniques, and we just kind of activated that little gland that's in the base of your skull, and we are calm, and we're just gonna sit for a little bit, and then I'm gonna ask her to lean over from one side and just feel the way Jarvis shifts, and then I'm gonna ask her to do it again on the other side. So she'll be like this, but I'll move the camera so you guys can see. She'll be kind of like that, and then she'll come center, and then she'll come like that, and you guys will probably see Jarvis move. So okay guys, so now this is just leaning left and right, and what I want her to do is I'm going to have her lean just left, and I'm going to have her lean a little bit right. What I want you guys to pay attention to is as she's leaning, I want you to watch how he adjusts himself to her balance, and keep that in mind when you guys are riding, because just the smallest amount of shift in your weight will cause your horse to adjust their weight, because you are like a liquid backpack and you move around, and if you're carrying a backpack full of water, you're going to have to adjust yourself all the time as well. So think about that. What I want you to do is I want you to lean this, I adjust it a little bit this way with me, and I want you to feel how, and you can keep your butt in the same spot, your upper body, one side and two on that. And my way. Alright you guys, did you see that? Okay, so she's already leaning towards me, and now I asked her to sit up straight. Now look, Jarvis straightened up, and he's cocked that back leg a little bit, so he's comfortable. So I asked her to lean the other way. He shifts his weight, and he actually looks over to the right. So this is the activity that I wanted to show you guys. Now I asked her to do it again, but as you can tell, Jarvis isn't moving. And that's a good thing, because Jarvis has learned that even though she's moving around on his back, he doesn't have to really move too much, and that she's not going to fall off. He knows you're not falling off. See, that's why he's not adjusting. Because he knows that you're not going to fall off. You're not going to be moving all the way. You're doing good. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. She's not 100% convinced that she's not nervous, even though Jarvis is showing all the signs that he knows that she's not nervous. He's eating, he's relaxed, his tail isn't swishing, he's just doing fine. His legs cocked a little bit right there. So he's got all the telltale signs that she is not nervous. So good job. Good job with that. High five. Good job. Okay, so I'm gonna tell them. So guys, I don't know if you saw it, but what I saw, I was spotting her on that side, and Jarvis is eating. So the first couple of times that she did this, he moved his body a little bit, he shuffled his feet, he moved his weight, and then when I asked her to do it, I think it was like the third time that I asked her to make that little adjustment, Jarvis stopped moving. He started eating. He was totally comfortable with what she was doing, which means she was comfortable with what she was doing. Because if she wasn't, and if she was nervous, and if she was stiff, he'd pick up on that. Because, you know, horses do that. They wonder why you're nervous on their back, and they get all nervous. So he's eating, which is very, very common for them. And he was very comfortable with his body. You didn't see his tail come up. He didn't pass gas. He didn't stress out. So she wasn't stressed out, even though she thought she was, she wasn't. So bravo, good job.
Yeah.
So the same way, roll forward, switch the leg over, and you're like that far away from the bed. Good. Yeah, good. Stand up. Good job. You did good. Come over here and tell everybody. She did good. She did really good. She got off. She was big smiles. You guys didn't see it because it was on the other side, but you might have seen it.
And I had some, I had a smile up there. I just, I have to take it in sections, and
That's what we need to do. Just itty
And-
bitty steps. You did.
now, last time, how long was I up there? Not long.
No, you were up there maybe a couple of seconds.
Last time I was up there, well, maybe a few minutes, enough to be able to lean into them and hang on and breathe, and then sit back up, and then I was like leaning down on him and hanging on and breathing,
Yep.
and then it was like, okay, ready to get down,
Yep. This time you were up there for a good 15 minutes.
and
Yeah. Well, a couple. I don't know.
actually,
You were up there a good while. Enough for him to eat.
yeah, enough for him, and I was also doing the leaning. I could feel him adjusting
Mm-hmm.
as just trying to play a little bit, and then also I could feel him when he kind of like took one hip and he would just kind of relax a little bit.
Yep. You feel it all in there. You can't
I
feel
did.
that in the saddle very well
Yep, I
because
could
the
feel
whole
it.
saddle moves.
I could feel it, and then I just kind of went like this, and then I could feel his hip come up and kind of straighten out a little bit as I was like centering myself.
Yep.
And
So basically, that's what you are. You're just like a giant water backpack for him.
yeah,
And when water moves around, it sloshes around, and we're always trying to compensate for it. So if you think about that as you're wearing a backpack and how it needs to compensate and how you need to compensate, it will allow you to sit on him and be more confident with him.
and also I've been journaling a lot.
Oh,
Here.
good, yeah.
Been journaling a lot, especially after last week. And because I went home, sat down, did some writing, did some journaling, and then just kind of. Then also when I saw the videos that you had done with your cousin, that right there gave me encouragement, because I was watching the videos and watching her and what you were showing her, and it was like, it got me excited. It was like, ooh, yeah, okay.
So what I'll do for you guys is I will take a couple of the videos of my cousin, of what we were doing, and I'll put them in here. So since it gave her empowerment to come and do what she had to do today, maybe that'll help you guys too. So. So now the next thing that we need you is you need to measure your legs when you get up. He's a little offside, but I'm gonna hold your stirrup on this side. So if it does slide, which it won't, it'll be there. That's fine.
Woohoo!
Yeah, nice and easy. That was perfect. Now can you tip your foot in the stirrup? Walk on. Walk on. Bring up that rein a little bit. There you go. That's it. Perfect. That's perfect. Tell me whoa. Whoa. Now if you have to, when you tell him to whoa, pull him back until he stops and then release. So that way he doesn't take another step. You asked him to whoa, he whoaed, it was perfect. But we want to release him as a whoa and then release. So we're going to do it again. Have him walk on towards me.
Walk on. Walk on.
Good. There we go. Tell him whoa.
Whoa.
Perfect. Keep the pressure on until he stops. Perfect. You did good. You're teaching him to walk on as straight as you can, so you're going to need to correct him as you walk. And I want you to, when he gets to about here, I want you to ask him to whoa and pull him back, because he'll stop right here. Okay? So come to me, tell him walk on.
Walk on.
Stay on this side is okay. There we go. Close enough. Tell him whoa.
Whoa.
Good job. Good job.
And this morning I got up, had my coffee, but I was also prepared more of all right, I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
Before it was anxiety and a lot of hesitation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll notice, when I didn't hesitate that much going up the steps, and then getting up at the top, and then once I got up there, it was like, okay, how do I need to do this properly,
Right.
without looking at you going, am I ready? No, I just kind of like, figured it out, like, okay, best way to do this after watching you.
Yep.
And
Inside.
leg over, supporting
Push
him
yourself up.
properly,
Yep.
and myself, and get myself into the position.
Fantastic.
And also keep my legs relaxed. If you noticed, I was kind of like flopping my legs
Yeah,
around,
you
making
had
sure-
duck legs. That's what I call them, duck legs,
Relax.
when you're just like flopping your legs, because we always want to use our thighs to control, not our calves. So you want to have duck legs, and you just want to have your feet.
Yep. And just remember to keep my legs relaxed.
Yes.
Because of course I've never done this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been in the saddle,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to learn this way is totally different. It's a new way of learning. And for people to learn it this way, I wish I had learned it from the beginning, like this. It'd help me a lot.
That's
You
awesome.
down, you're like,
No. So, okay, so we are done with episode 6. You've been here 6 times, and I am going to put in a little clip of episode 1, when we were doing a couple little things to show you how nervous she was then and what it's like now, 6 weeks later. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go for a quick little walk, you guys. We've done some brushing, and now everybody's calm and relaxed. So we're just gonna go for a little walk around the pasture, and that way we can get a little bit more acquainted with our horses. So, what'd you think? It's been 6 weeks. How do you feel?
it's been a journey for me. It's a good feeling. It's an exciting feeling. Actually woke up this morning and didn't feel like, okay, what kind of excuse can I come up with to kind of get out
You
of
felt
half
excited.
of it or
I'm
something?
gonna go ride a horse today.
Yeah, it was, okay, I got this, I'm going to do this. I know Jarvis. Jarvis knows me now, more so. And one thing I kept telling myself is, he's not going anywhere. And that was one of my goals, was, you know, when I first ever wanted to start riding again, get my courage back, and get over the fear, it was, I just want to be able to sit. And all I want to do is sit on the horse. I don't want to do anything else until I can work my way into, and this is exactly what I've been doing. Totally different from being in the saddle, and this is a totally different learning experience.
Yep. So doing this bareback, you actually get to feel everything.
Yes, everything. And they can feel what you're doing, and that's what's important, because you're actually making a connection, you know, with the horse.
Yep.
And it builds up trust.
Right. Because now you're more comfortable on him, and because you know how he's going to react to your movements.
Yes.
And every horse is the same in that aspect. I mean, you know, you slide one way, the horse is going to go the other way to compensate. I mean, that's what animals do, you know. So whether you're on a big draft horse or whether you're on a pony, or, well, I don't suggest doing any of this on a pony, but if you're on a small quarter horse or standardbred or whatever your lesson barn has for you to ride, every horse is going to react the same way. If you're off balance, they're going to shift their balance to accommodate for you being off balance. So we want to make sure that your lessons go smoothly and you're in balance before you can be out of balance, and the next thing you know, you're falling out of the saddle or you're falling over their mane or something. And then we'll be back to square one again.
Exactly.
We don't want to fall.
No, we want to go forward. We don't want to go backwards.
We don't want to go backwards.
And also, do you remember what the lady that was one of your instructors, of what she said about wishing that the students that come to her already knew certain things before they do come to her?
Yep.
And that's what
I'm doing.
That's what you're giving to the students.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. So it's not just overcoming your fear of horses or falling down or whatever. What I'm teaching her, and every lesson, every student, every client that I have, it's going to be different, because, you know, your experience is going to be different than when I fell off. And I mean, she fell off. She was bucked off, thrown off, and into the hospital. Me, I kind of just slid off and fell into the snow. And, you know, so my fall was different than her fall. So
I went flying through the air.
yeah, that's not good. No.
Yes.
No, we don't have wings yet. So if somebody was in the same situation, they just kind of slid off, they were worried. If they were worried, then obviously their training would be different. Or if you're an adult with a child that loves horses and you don't know anything about horses, and they're just, mommy, I want a horse, I want to learn how to ride. Well, bring him here. We'll get her or him all around the horse, teach him everything on the big guys, because it's so much better to do on the big guy and transfer it to something smaller, because now you're more confident. You're like, oh, this is so easy because the feet are so much smaller, or I'm so much closer to the ground, and this is so much closer. So if you're learning on the big guys and learning all of this stuff on the big guys. Somebody was itching. Did you have a good itch? Do you feel better? Yeah.
So that was a good scratch.
That was a good scratch. He was scratching really well. So where was I?
You were talking about the balance and talking about transferring from a
Yes, from a
large
big horse to the
yes,
smaller horses.
to a smaller horse,
Right.
and it would be like, hey, wow, okay, this is a lot, going from a large horse to a smaller horse. And you have your confidence already, and you're like, oh, I got this. Oh, this is so much, easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So that's what we do. That's what I do.
And
And
time to talk about your announcement.
oh yeah, it's a business. Summerfield Farm and Draft Horses is now taking on clients for all of what you've been seeing. Hopefully that you all are enjoying this series, and it's going to continue. So she will continue, and we'll continue the series because she's got a lot more to go because the horse has not moved, and we need to do this when he's moving. So the end result today's milestone was reached, and every time that you come, you have a goal for yourself, and that's what we want to reach. So if it takes an hour, it takes an hour and a half, it takes 2 hours, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna make sure that you get to that point and you can go, that's what I wanted to do today, and that's what we did.
Yes, that was what I wanted to do today, was to be able to be up there for some time, a lot longer than what I, have been, and also to do what the leaning back, from side to side, feeling what he's doing, my comfort, even forward and backward, which is helping with my balance because I lost it.
So that's that. That's the big announcement. And also, she has a little side endeavor that she makes these little cool little pocketbooks out of jeans and so forth. I'm gonna put in some pictures that she sent to me. And those are going to be up for sale, and if you guys want one, you can use them for your phones. You could use them for horse treats if you're out at somebody's barn, because I know some of you, and actually I'm going to be meeting him I think next week. He's coming up from Florida, and what he does is he goes to his barn, his friend's barn, and he walks their horses. And that's what he does, yeah. Because
cool.
he can't ride, so he walks and he bonds with their horses that way. So it'll be great for treats, stuff like that. So I'll put up a way for you to get in touch with her, and if you like the little pocketbooks, let her know. Reach out to her, and she'll get it shipped out to you. And
it doesn't have to be a girl thing. It can be a guy thing, to where some of my designs I have come up with to where it's just where you can put your phone, treats, and it'll hook to your straps and just hang right there at your side. And
you put carrots in there and stuff
you can
like
put,
that.
and it's made from blue jeans.
But you will see them more here, and I will put in the description a way for you to get in touch with her. And I'll also put, for people who are interested in coming to the farm here, not everybody will have their own YouTube session, but if you want to be featured in it, that's fine. That's completely up to you. I'll work you into one of our sessions here, and I'll show you what, how everybody else does it. But I will put all the information in there on how to get in touch with me, how the pricing fees goes for individuals and for families, and for blocks of 4 lessons. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's gonna be fun. It'll be new and exciting. So I'm gonna wrap that up, and as long as we got everything taken care of today.
Yes.
And don't forget, journal everything. You have to journal
Yes.
everything.
Right, the journal.
So, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. Maybe I'll get one of those little blank journals for my new clients, and they can start journaling right away after the first session.
That's true.
It's a great
That'll work.
idea. Yeah, I'll give you guys a little notepad and a little thing. Maybe it'll have, you know, my logo on the front. Who knows? And that way you can start your journaling, and that way you can start your growing process too. And you guys will grow.
Yes.
Because you'll write in the comments what you want to see and what you think is going to be fun.
Exactly.
Because we rely on you guys too.
Yes, very much so.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming in. So sorry about last week missing it, but we're gonna pick it up from here and keep on trucking. So, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit that little subscribe button and share all our videos. Hit the little thumbs up. All that good stuff. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. And we'll see you next time on Summerfield Farm and those guys. Draft horses. Right? See you later.